Hello there, and welcome to my world of stuff. Oh God, I've watched Nobody with Bob Odenkirk.
Yes, that's right, I have no shame. I'll do anything to get viewers. Well, I'm this guy. This is my world of stuff. Tonight I'm going to be reviewing a film called Nobody, which stars Bob Odenkirk, who hopefully you will know from his stunning performances in one of the best TV shows ever made, Breaking Bad, and another one of the best TV shows ever made, Better Call Saul, which is the Breaking Bad sequel series, which details the history of Bob's character, Jimmy McGill, a sort of a struggling, well-meaning lawyer who ends up turning to the dark side, as it were, and becomes the Saul Goodman character that we met in Breaking Bad. It's run for 5 series. I think there's a 6th series on the way, and it's a beautiful, really well-judged character study of a man who wants to do the right thing, but life won't let him, so he has to find his own way. Terrific performance from Bob Odenkirk, and I must mention Rhea Seehorn, who appears in the series with him. They give great performances, and it frustrates me that they haven't won Emmy after Emmy for their performances in this really underrated series. Anyway, that's not the point of this video. I'm talking about Nobody, which is a really interesting film because it stars Bob in a very uncharacteristic role. Now, Saul Goodman's a very talky character. He's a very slick, smooth-talking guy in a suit, a tricksy lawyer. Here he plays something completely out of his comfort zone, I imagine, which is probably why I dare say he enjoyed himself terrifically. He plays an action hero. Now, this film hasn't actually arrived on UK shores yet, but when it does, be sure to seek it out. I don't know if it's going to make it to the cinemas when they reopen next month, or whether it's going to arrive on one of the streaming services, but it's well worth giving a look because it's something very different for Bob Odenkirk, but nothing particularly different in terms of cinema, because this is really John Wick 4. The film was directed by Ilya Naishuller and written by Derek Kolstad, who has on his list of previous credits John Wick. What we have here is another spin on the John Wick story of a man pushed out of his comfort zone and forced to do terrible things to save his loved ones and to protect his loved ones. As I say, it's an unusual role for Bob Odenkirk to play because we're not used to him playing somebody who gets in punch-ups and has gunfights, but oh my god, he gets involved in punch-ups and has gunfights in this terrific little movie. The plot basically is that Bob Odenkirk plays Hutch Mansell. He's an ordinary man, ordinary family man, lives out in the suburbs somewhere in America. He's got a wife, a couple of kids, and he's just jogging along in through middle age in a fairly dead-end sort of an exceptional job, and a montage sequence at the beginning of the film sort of tells you all you need to know about his life. Day after day, rolls along doing the same thing, the same routine. But he's not satisfied. He knows that he's effectively a nobody, and there's not much passion in his relationship with his wife, his kids, certainly his elder son. Don't seem to have much time or respect for him. His younger daughter, she's still very much a child, and she sort of worships him, and that sort of keeps him going. But he's just jogging along, living this unexceptional, very quiet life until things take a turn for the sinister when the family home is broken into one night by 2 young thugs, and Hutch does nothing to protect himself or his family apart from just give them what they want. He tries to get them out of the house without causing any trouble. His son gets involved, he pounces on one of the thugs, which in theory gives Hutch the chance to step in and do something, but he doesn't. This has the effect that Hutch's son has even less respect for him, and his life sort of is in an even worse position than it was before. Trying to ride this out and rationalise that it was the best thing to do, but clearly it wasn't, because he is sort of haunted by the fact that he didn't do something that he should have done, and what ultimately spurs him into action, and in a nice little twist on the John Wick sort of thing, is his daughter tells him that her kitty bracelet has gone missing. It appears that the thugs have stolen this kitty bracelet. Something snaps in Hutch's head, and he decides that he can't let what's happened go unpunished, really. So his father, played by Back to the Future legend Christopher Lloyd, he's in a retirement home, and he's an ex-cop. So he takes his father's old police badge and just trawls around local dives and criminal haunts to find out who these thugs may have been. He finds them, finds out who they were, but he can't exact his terrible vengeance because he discovers that they were just trying to get money together to pay their ailing mother's medical bills. So he backs off, but on the way home, he's on a bus or a train. It's the usual cliche of he's travelling home, and there are some thugs, drunken thugs, come on board and start causing a scene, picking on a young lady who's sitting on her own. It's always the way in these films that there's one other person on this bus or tram or whatever it was, I can't remember now, God, and he gets involved and he explodes and into an orgy of violence. It's a breathtaking action sequence where he basically demolishes these thugs, leaves them in bits. Unfortunately, unbeknownst to him, one of these thugs is the son of a local Russian gangster who's involved in a big money laundering plot that is being run from this club. And when this guy finds out that his son, who he hasn't really got a lot of time for, has been abused and beaten up, he decides that Hutch needs to be taught a lesson. So he sends a gang of his boys around to Hutch's house, where there's another explosion of uber violence, which is again guns flying everywhere, fist fights. There's just an extraordinary explosion of violence, and as the film moves along, it escalates as he gets himself deeper into difficulties. But the twist, if you can call it that, because we can probably see it coming, is that we discover that Hutch is in fact a retired auditor, in terms of not exactly a numbers auditor, but he's somebody who did missions for intelligence agencies and got rid of people that the normal authorities didn't like to be seen dirtying their hands with. Unfortunately, one of his missions went slightly wrong, and he's been forced to go to ground, and he's now adopted this persona of everyman, of nobody. But unfortunately, he's now in too deep. His attempts to sort of not exactly smooth things over, but find common ground between him and the gangster come to naught. He sort of puts an end to the gangster's plan and says to him, look, this is, we can leave it here, or we can go nuts on this, we can just take it to another level. And it goes to another level, and he has to call in favours from his father and his brother, who he communicates with over a radio unit, and an explosive machine gun mad finale of mega violence that Quentin Tarantino himself would have been proud of. It's great. It's a great film, and it's not big, it's not clever, it's a bit of throwaway nonsense of uber violence, and Bob Odenkirk is terrific. It's another layer to him that we'd never have envisaged, really, knowing what he's done in the past, comedy series and things that he's done, and of course, as I say, especially Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. This is him just having fun. Saul obviously is a very talky character. It's a very dialogue heavy role. This isn't so much, the dialogue is very pared down. It's all about the action and the intensity, and it's a blast. As I say, it's not a subtle film. It's not a film that you're going to carry with you for years on end. It won't be on anybody's films of the year list at the end of the year, but I had a great time watching it. It's 90, I think it's just under 90 minutes, so it's not a long old film. It just gets in and gets on with it. And it's nice to see a different side to one of my favourite actors. So that's Nobody. If you want a bit of, unpretentious, no holds barred action, bearing in mind that it is totally ripping off John Wick, but then it's written by the person who wrote John Wick, so I think if anybody can rip himself off, it's him. Catch Nobody when it's available. As I said, don't know when it's coming to cinemas in the UK or if it's going to arrive on streaming, but it's just 90 minutes of big mad orgy of violence, and sometimes that's really just what you need. I forgot to rate I forgot to rate Nobody. I'm terrible. I'm going to give it a big chunky 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Right, now my new catchphrase for the end of videos: keep taking the stuff, and I'll see you soon.